comments, any questions?
All right. Excited to be here for game week. Excited to see the students start classes on campus. Before I get started, I want to wish all the local high schools all throughout the state good luck as they enter their seasons. We're obviously excited about the opportunity. We've worked very hard. Excited to play a home game. Excited to play UTEP. Coach Walden is a winner. I've known him since all the way back at East Texas Baptist, and he'll bring elite energy. He'll bring a dynamic offense and an aggressive defense. They've got excellent players, and so it's going to be quite a challenge. So we're excited about it, excited about our team, and look forward to seeing everyone there, starting with the legacy walk and all the way through the end of the game. We hope it's a great day because we've worked very hard to get to this day. So with that, I'll take your questions.
Do you have 4 running backs that you see as even?
I think we're going to play them all. Yeah, we're going to play them all. So, we kind of have different roles for all of them, and Big Ten plays 4 weeks away. So I feel like I was hoping we'd be a little bit more dialed in on where they are, but I feel like they've all competed enough that we're going to give them all a chance and make some decisions probably 3 weeks down the line. Might illuminate itself obviously earlier, but they're all doing really good things, and so that's the one position we're probably not quite. We're still quite unsettled on that in kicker.
Jaron Bonner, his rise is obviously notable. Just to get that #1 spot a year ago, wasn't really in his position. What has he done to get to this spot where he's #1 going a year over?
I think anytime you have a guy that you can say is your starting slot receiver who was willing to be your starting fullback, there's something special about that type of guy, their brain. He was an excellent high school receiver, had an injury. As we tried to find roles for him because we like just the way he plays football, it started to emerge, and then just was unable to keep that 225, 228 weight. And so as he kept staying around like 218. We just said, hey, let's put him in the slot and see how physical he can be. Trying to win third down with big people like that, and he's just done excellent. So we can be in 11 personnel and all of a sudden get under center and have him be the fullback still. There's lots of things you can do with a guy like Janirin, but at the end of the day, he's just a winner. He's tough, really tough. He kind of emblematic of the type of guys I love to coach. And again, as we talk about positionless football, I think throughout the course of the year, you'll see him do a lot of things, the versatility that he brings.
How do you feel about the run game coming out of camp?
Well, I feel good about it, but we're running against ourselves every day. So, after a while, you start to, you come out and you got the defense is yelling the play, and the offense is, knowing what the defense is going to do. So it'll be really interesting to see when we face somebody else. Obviously, handling different fronts. Now, Coach Clark's defense, is very similar to ours in that it's 3 down, 4 down, 3-3-5 hybrid. All the same things that they do is what we do, and so you have to be able to handle their pressure packages and the way that they attack you. They held opponents to right around 4 yards a carry last year. So, it'll be a challenge, but I feel good about where we are. I mean, I wouldn't put oars on the running backs if I didn't feel like we had guys who could make plays.
What are your expectations for Dylan, and how do you communicate that he doesn't have to do too much?
No, we're not thinking that way at all. No. I'd rather lose the first game than the last game. So we're not going to ease into it. We're going to play. We're going to play.
What does that look like? I mean, not specifically strategy, but mindset-wise.
Yeah, Dylan's going to play. He's going to play the plays, right? He's going to, when we call drop back, he's going to go back there, take his drop, go through his progression. Just how we want him to play when he's a junior. We're going to start day one that way. We're not easing into anything.
Is that because of what Dylan has showed you? Did you do that with anybody?
It's a great question. So I don't mean to demean it, but just this is where I'm at right now. This is just where I'm at. I mean, I don't know if I'd be like this with anybody else. I don't know. But this is just where I'm at. This is how I feel. It's a good thing.
White Hill is on that depth chart. Is he available to play? Are you expecting to let him start?
Yeah, so Bly Hill came back from the knee. and was doing really well, and then just, sometimes you come back from an injury and it leads to another injury. So he got some soreness in his hamstring, so he's available. But I don't know how much you'll have to see how this week goes. So that was kind of an unfortunate remnant of this past week, just some tightness in his hamstring, nothing serious, but he's available, but I don't know how much he actually will play. So you're looking at Sierra Wright, you're looking at all those guys, Amari Sanders, Jeremiah Charles, Larry Tarver, all those guys will be ready to go.
Henry Bukowski, he missed some time this camp. What's his status right now?
He's back in the mix. I think he'd be available, kind of like Bly, on an emergency basis. Probably trending more towards sometime next week being truly able to go play a full game.
Is there anybody else with a status like that?
I'm not very good at that. I don't mean that. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. Gunnar Gatula is injured right now. So Gunnar's got an ankle. Has an ankle. So he's trending towards being able to play. Brody Tagaloa's. So I'd say Gunnar probably next week. I'd say Brody Tagaloa hopefully 2 weeks from now. Is there anyone else that you guys have injury-wise?
I know it's been like 3 days, but an update on Tristan.
Yeah, Tristan's kicking. He's in the mix. So we'll make a decision probably Thursday or Friday of who's going to kick.
Malachi is good.
Yeah, Malachi's healthy. Yeah, Malachi's healthy. He's just he had a groin, so he's just a little bit further down on the depth chart right now.
Hey, you mentioned Baylor 2019 and how some of the things leading up to this season have reminded you, or you've chosen to do in a similar way that you handled with that team, like with the longer camp. Are there other similarities in those 11-win team? I think are there other similarities?
I sure hope so.
Do you see some of those things, like in just the maturation process of this team, their accountability, things like that you look for?
Yeah, the hard thing is that was year 3, and the team in year 2 figured out how to win. They got to a bowl game, and they won the bowl game. So, that's really, we haven't made that step. We haven't gotten to a bowl game and won a bowl game. So, year 3 for me, there were a lot. It's funny. There were a lot of people thought I was. There actually was they were reporting on the news that I was leaving, taking the Jets job, and I was like, I'm not leaving here. I knew we were going to be good. I knew. Those guys were dialed in. So I think we have the same level from our older guys of accountability. It's just learning how to win. I mean, it was a 53-yarder by a walk-on kicker to send the game into overtime against TCU. We had the ball 2nd and 19 with a minute left on our own 1-yard line, and Charlie Brewer took us 99 yards. We dropped the touchdown. So we won 4 games in overtime or on the last possession. That's the secret sauce of where we have to get to with this team, right? But so that's why I'm not easing into it. I'm not going to just sit there and say, "Hey, Dylan, hand the ball off 42 times. Don't throw it." Oh, hey, go win the game for us. I'd rather coach the mistakes now, and if there are mistakes, coach the mistakes, and then when the time comes, he's prepared for those big moments.
As excited as everyone is to play, how good has this team been at trying to kind of stay in the moment and not get ahead of itself through fall camp?
Yeah, they've been they have their own saying. That's not mine. They say one better, and I think they've done that. They try to get one better every day. I think Corey or someone did that, and they stick to it. Not everything's perfect, but and again, there's just a core group of veteran guys that just kind of make the thing go. So, I think you're going to have everyone who starts on defense, but maybe one guy is a senior. Is that correct? Or could be a senior. Still some COVID years out there, and some injury, but pretty much everyone's a senior, right? So when everyone asked last year, why is the defense so much further ahead of the offense? Well, there's a lot of guys on defense that played a ton. Well, now what you're seeing on offense is you're starting to see the guys who've weathered the storm. They're getting a little bit older now, so hopefully, there's that mix. So I think they've done a good job.
How might the offense's growth open up Zach's play sheet a little bit after he was pretty limited last year?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, to me, offensive football is about getting the ball in the hands of guys who can make plays and letting them make plays. And really, I'll just go back to the running backs. It's really about when we block it for 4, we can't just get 4 anymore. We need 4 needs to become 12. Block it for 4 and it needs to go be 80, right? And so that's the step that we have to see. We have big receivers, so we're going to face a really aggressive defense. They'll play man on us, and so there's going to have to be a lot of big body catches. And instead of trying to scheme up the perfect play, we're just going to call plays and let the fellas go win. And so when you have guys you believe in, you got to let them go win. And so yeah, I mean, Sat's got it all at his fingertips, and the offense has worked really hard since the first week of June on these plays. Like, we're not going to go out there and reinvent the wheel. We're not tricking anybody. Like, we know what we're doing. We're going to go out there and do it and see what happens.
On Jamal Banks, I mean, has he just been everything you were hoping he would be as a leader person, given that he got a single-digit jersey and he's kind of one of the top receivers?
When he came in on his visit, both he, Miss Christie, his mother, a lot of times guys will sit there and they'll tell you their goals, and he was talking about nonprofit work and the things he wanted to do someday, and I hear that a lot, right? And he's one of the first guys I've ever seen. Like, some guys do it, but to the level he's here to help affect other people. Like, there's not a day that I'm not blown away by his impact on other people. He just lives such a life of gratitude, and he is an amazing, amazing person. And so I think he's had a really good effect, on those guys. And then his professionalism. Him and Nayor have brought a tremendous sense of professionalism to an already really good group. And so, it's going to be kind of funny out there. You're going to have Nayor, playing at his third school, fourth or fifth year senior in one play, and then you're going to have Jacory playing his first college game, probably the next rep. So it's kind of it's a fun time to be at Nebraska with these guys. But Jamal really is. And what's great about Jamal's voting? The guys on defense voted for him. The O-line voted for him. He's respected by everybody.
Back to the nonprofit stuff that you talked about. What's an example?
You probably should talk more to him. He led our team for us, though. In terms of what he's doing outside, but for us, he led our team in community service hours. He led our team in, we do our off-season points. He literally shattered what anyone else had ever done. I'm talking about at 3 schools. Just the amount of stuff that he did in the off-season, and he does, shattered anything anyone's ever done. And so, and he and Elliot Brown, and Elliot was right there with him. And so it's just, I just hadn't seen somebody do that, right? Normally you come in and you're like, I'm a one-year guy, yeah, I'm a buy into the culture, but I want to put some good stuff on tape and get drafted. He came here to try to help change our culture and improve it, right? And because every year you change your culture, and every year you redo your culture and improve it. And Jamal was just the most amazing addition to that. And it's good when other transfer guys come in and maybe they're struggling with the things we ask of you, and they see him buying into it and having the success he's having, and say, you know what, maybe I should try this. And so the impact of Jamal Banks will be here for a while.
In the 8 months you've kind of been able to be around Dylan, how have you seen him just navigate the attention and kind of the push-pull that kind of comes with being him coming here?
Well, I think like anybody else, there's probably parts of it he likes, right? There's part, you like when kids have your jersey, and you like when people come up to you, and you like all that stuff. At the same time, I think he's done a good job so far of, always humbly working. To me, he texted me every night last week, may I please be late to curfew, and he'd send a pic. He's still in the building, right? And so I come in this morning to get my little old man workout in, and I go in, there's music in the cardio room. I'm like, who's in here? And he's in there riding the bike this morning at 6 a.m. So he understands that, to get all that, you have to have work. And, and I remind him, this position, when you're the quarterback at the University of Nebraska, you better be ready to ride the highs and lows. And your life better not be about what other people think about you. You know what I mean? It better not be that. And I think, he and his family have instilled that in him. So, and he's a good teammate. He does what he can with the fellows to help get them ready as well.
From a style of play standpoint, what can fans expect out of your team on Saturday?
I think they're going to have to come and see it. I think they're going to have to come and watch. I don't want to give away too much, but we're going to kind of play the way we play. We like to run it and throw it. Not just run it, but we still want to run the football. The key tenets of football are what they're supposed to be. But I think the biggest thing for me is we want to play complementary football, right? We want to. We want to win the turnover battle. We want to be physical. We want to have a culture of execution where, and when I say execution, it's not jumping up and making the one-handed catch. That's the last phase of execution. We want to align and assign properly. We want to play, with great energy and dominant contact. And when the chance comes, we want to go make a play. So I think we have a lot of good players on our team. Right now we talk about a couple of them, right, because some of them have not yet established themselves out there. But there's going to be a lot of opportunities. And when you watch when you watch UTEP's offense, at least based upon Austin Peay, they test every facet of your defense, right? So they're going to play with great tempo. So you're going to have to sub a lot of guys. They're going to attack you on the perimeter. So, your cover guys have to be really physical. They're going to take shots down the field. They're going to run the quarterback. Their tailback, I want to make sure I say his name right, Javon Jack. I don't know if it's Jevon or Javon, but he's an excellent football player with elite contact balance, and he can make you miss. If you look at most games early in the year, the games are won or lost in week one based upon tackling and based upon giving up big plays and missed assignments. You watched the games the other night, right? You watched the Georgia Tech game. They bad snap. Okay, they have the ball on the 39-yard line. They throw a tunnel screen out. They make that tackle, and it's a long kick. They miss that tackle. He's down at field goal range, and they win the game. So we're going to have to tackle really well. They brought over a lot of talent, a lot of skill, a lot of speed. So I think our fans will get a chance to see our defense tested in ways you don't get tested in the Big Ten. I mean, it's going to go from a bunch to 5-by-0 to double pass to trick play to tempo to inside zone. I mean, it's really a great offense. They averaged 34 points, 6 points or something like that a game last year. And while they run, they only averaged about 68 plays a game. Last year there's some game, but they're going to go fast. So it'll be a challenge. It'll be a real challenge. It'll be good for our defense if we can handle it. It'll be good for our defense. Come out there practice, and every other play is a redo right now because we're just not handling the amount of things. You don't really see that when you go to a Big Ten game. So it's a wide open style that is fun to watch. Hopefully, not fun to play against.
Your depth at safety, Ramir Stewart, was he hurt at the start of camp or just not on the wall?
I didn't bring him in. I didn't bring him in.
And also Derek Branch, I should ask about those two guys.
Yeah, Derek's done a great job. Derek was a guy that we kept up last year. He's a legacy player. He's just a smart, heady, tough football player. He's dependable, does things right. So he's getting an opportunity right now to play on some special teams as well. But Ramir, I held him out from the season. Just it's just has really been his weight. Being where it's supposed to be. And to his credit, he handled that. And when he showed back up at camp, he showed back up, and he was in good shape. His weight was down, and he got an opportunity. He played the way we're not capable of playing. See, we believe that Ramir's a really good football player, and he just is going to have to. He just had to cut loose a little bit. So he's in the mix. He'll play on teams, and keep his weight down about 205. When he's at 205, he's an excellent safety.
How beneficial will it be that defense is so experienced with being the up-tempo style play that UTEP plays?
Yeah, well, I mean, the benefit of it is probably that our guys have a lot of those guys played Colorado last year, and it was 13-7, and all of a sudden that blew up to 36-13, and you realize how if you're playing a type of team that is going to play you with tempo and try to win on the perimeter and run tunnel screens. You go back to that game at Colorado, it was the tunnel screens that these guys run that can really hurt you. Jake, well, I know Coach Walden, it's his offense. Jake Brown is the OC. Jake was the OC last year at La Tech. They ran two middle screens that should have been touchdowns. One, Jamari made an amazing play, and one, they kind of got in their own way, but they had us dialed up. So, when you have older guys, you can warn them of things, and they don't take it as like, oh, Coach doesn't believe in us. Oh, Coach, don't worry. Like, you have to have humble confidence, right? Like, you prepare for everything. And so going back and watching the way Jake and them attacked us at La Tech, going back and watching the tempo of Colorado affect us in the game, late in the game, going back and watching Coach Walden play Alabama 2 years ago, watching them play Tennessee a year ago, watching all of their games last season, you can see the ways in which they've hurt people, and then veteran players should set out, lock their jaw to get ready for those things.
When you play these teams that just roll out 50 new players, and have this week, next week, how do y'all as a staff just feel prepared for that?
We watch a bunch of film of a bunch of different people. You're watching, if you want to watch Goodman, you got to watch Austin Peay. You want to watch Jackson, you got to watch Austin Peay. Then you got to go back. If you want to say the quarterbacks, you got to watch one here. You got to watch one at UTEP. Then you have to go. You got to watch Eastern Kentucky film, and then you have to watch the O linemen. But as much as anything, we always try to focus on ourselves, study the other team's players, focus on ourselves, and then say, what do they have? And I think a big piece of it's going to be the tempo. It's going to be the heat. It's going to be 85 degrees. I'm glad we got, the mock game on Saturday was like 100 and some degrees outside, so that was good for us. And, even after we were done, we ran conditioning. So I think we're in pretty good shape.
After locking it down for the two major scrimmages and wanting
your guys you mentioned to just play their game. How are you hoping they translate that to then playing out there in front of 90,000 on Saturday?
Yeah, nothing should be different. Nothing should be different. No, you should not play differently when there's people watching. If you played differently, you were doing something wrong to begin with. I'll never forget, and I've told this story before. When I was a young coach at University of Buffalo, we got fired with 2 games left in the season. I remember my dad saying, "However you coach these 2 games is really who you are as a coach," and those words always made sense to me. Like, if you start doing something differently because of a certain game, then you weren't doing enough to begin with. And so our guys have worked very hard. They compete against each other. We do a lot of good on good. I'd like them to go out there and spot the ball and compete. Just go play. Prepare with tremendous respect for your opponent. But when we go out there, it's about us. And I want to see us ride the highs and lows of a game. That's the difference, right? Like, they played Tennessee and it was 6-6 right before the half. Like, you could feel Tennessee like, losing their mind a little bit. Like, this is a really good football team, and Scotty's a great coach. Like, they're going to go for it on 4th down. They're going to take their shots on us, and if one hits us, we have to regroup and say what's next and keep playing. And thankfully, these games this past weekend showed a lot of that. Right? It's the teams that were resilient that could ride the highs and lows of a game, like that won. That Montana State game. I mean, they're down by 17, and they come back and they win. So. I think just, again, constantly educating our guys about, now that we're in the games, this is what it takes to win. And really, it's just about staying in the moment, playing each snap. That's my hope for them. And we'll see it. But the crowd should do nothing but energize us.
Hey, Coach, you took a pretty good edge guy, Westmoreland. How do you think he's going to affect your protections, and how do you think the tackles are going to impact?
Yeah, Westmoreland's a pro. He's a pro. He's versatile. Great arm over. Great ability to affect pass rushers he can rattle his pads, shoulder shake, and get tackles off balance. Not afraid to take the inside move, which is the hallmark of a really confident pass rusher. He's got a great motor, and he can also drop into space. So while he is sort of like a known rusher, you also have to account for, hey, what if he doesn't come? You can't put a back on him. So excellent football player. One of the better guys we'll see. Credit to their coaching staff. He probably could have gone to the portal and played anywhere, but he wanted to stay at UTEP and stay for them. So really good for us. There's been a lot of questions by you guys, a lot of questions by us about, our tackles and tackle depth and all that stuff. So they're going to have a great challenge week 1. And when it comes to playing a great pass rusher, it's really the job of all 11 guys. Like you can't run that triple release you saw on Instagram versus press. You got to get open quickly because you're beating the pass rush, right? And the quarterback can't pass on 1 because he's getting greedy to go to 2. He's got to take a profit when he can, and so we got to get the ball out of our hand. We got to pass the ball. We got to run the ball. We got to chip. But yeah, he's an excellent pass rusher. And you go to the other side. Gorey's a really good player as well. So they have 2 really good edge players. And again, Coach, JJ Clark, they will zero you up. They will come after you. They will blitz you, and so we'll have to handle the pressure and handle the blitz. There's not one part of this coaching staff we're playing against that doesn't come in and try to win. Sometimes you play people and they're just like, hey, let's play it close to the vest. These guys, they're coming to win. And so it's really, 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 really great first test for us to handle someone that's going to throw everything at you. And but a big part of that is West.
Did you guys get up the black shirts?
Tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Today was like a walkthrough type day. So.
Nebraska, you guys have started on the road or away from home against Big Ten teams the last 4 years. What's the value of starting at home, not with a conference game?
Yeah, well, for me, it's only been 1 year, right? So, but I know that experience last year. And as I said, I thought I failed the team last year when we went to Minnesota preparing for the crowd noise. I didn't think I did a good enough job. And so we certainly, if you're in the chemistry lab or something, I'm sure you've heard the crowd noise pretty much every day at some point because we're preparing for when that time comes. But, yeah, I'm really excited to be at home, right? And that's why, even when you're at home and you get off the bus, right, and there's all your family and friends and fans, you do that walk in. To me, I think it's like a 4-minute walk. It takes 4 minutes for us. 4 minutes and 7 seconds, Doctor, because they time it for me. But to me, it's 4 minutes and 7 seconds of gratitude, right? It's 4 minutes for me and for our players to recognize that playing at home is about way more than just us, right? It's like Fan Day. I just reminded our guys, like, there might be kids at Fan Day that won't ever get a chance to come to a game, but they get a chance to come to Fan Day. Like, if you walked around, I don't think you saw any of our guys' phones out, I hope. You didn't see them on their phones. I saw them interacting with. So It's the one chance we get on game day to interact with the fans, right? And just be reminded that, hey, that we're part of something bigger. And there's a reason why we ran that stadium all summer. And there's a reason why they were running those. There's a reason why the coaches even ran it. I ran it once, and after that I said, hey, guys, this is going to have to be a player-led team because I can't do this. But there's a reason why we did that, because it's bigger than just us. Right? It's bigger than any just one guy. It's about the team. It's about the university. It's about the state. It's about everyone that comes to the game. So I'm excited to be at home. I'm excited to have that lack of crowd noise. But along with that comes the distractions of, like, am I going to play a play and then wave to my mom, or am I just going to play the next play, right? And so there's a lot of things here that, with an older team they'll get, when some of the young guys get in there, we'll have to just keep refocusing them. And that's why I said what I said. We have to go like this every single game and get better. And that's why we're going to start off playing the way we want to play at the end of the year, at the beginning of the year. And if it doesn't look perfect early on, we're not going to flinch. We're not going to flinch. We're going to do what we do and just try to get better every year, every game, so that when we end the season, we'll have played our best game, the last game.
It's NFL shutdown day tomorrow. I'm sure that was an emotional time for you when you were in the league. But I was curious just about fantasy. And the plays that he had during preseason. It's easy to make a special teams on your first roster, but just if you paid any attention to the work he was doing, his chances of playing.
Oh, yeah, I paid attention to Phelan. I showed the team when he scooped and scored and ran the ball back. I showed the team that, right? Because he is the epitome of what we're trying to build, right? He's the epitome. It doesn't matter how you get here. It matters about what you do once you're here. And for all of our guys, I'm talking about for the 5-star recruits that come into us or the walk-ons, I want their best days to be ahead of them. And Phelan's a winner. Same guy last year that started the season off with no scholarship and was going to pay his own way until the last day we were able to get him something. So yeah, I'm excited for him, and I bet you, if he makes it, great, and if he doesn't make it, hopefully they'll bring him on the practice squad. One of their coaches, I talked to one of their coaches this year, and he just talked about what an unbelievable grinder, and he's the type of guy that in that league, when you have a guy that is going to be healthy, that can do multiple positions, and is going to show up on game day, they always have a chance. And so if our team can see Phelan having success, again, his legacy lives on, where they're like, hey, I need to do this, this, and this. So whether it's Omar or Quentin or Phelan, I'll be obviously watching all those guys, and we got a bunch of pros on this team, so hopefully they have a great year and help themselves next year.
Hey, Coach, last week you called out the backups. The second unit, they're playing like backups. Have you seen them respond to that?
Yeah, I think some of them understand, okay, here's what I need to do, and really, I feel like we're 3 deep on the D line of guys who can go in. I think there's about nine, maybe 10 guys who are prepared to play. In fairness, I think there's probably 4 linebackers and 3 jacks we'd put in the game right now, maybe 5. It's really in the secondary where we've been challenging some guys, right? If you're here on scholarship and you're a DB and you're not starting on special teams, you have to really look at yourself and say, why? I'm fast, I'm explosive, and so I've seen some of those guys. I think they've improved this week. We've really challenged them, and our season will go based upon our depth, and so we should have good depth. We have to just keep coaching it.
One more, if there's.
Hey, on coaching assignments, who will be in the box for you guys this year?
Yeah, we're still kind of working through a little bit of that. And I only say that to say because, the iPads, as we've done it, every time we do it, we love it. And we do it every day at practice. We have it every day at practice, too. So there's still some stuff remaining to be seen. But Marcus will definitely be in the box, and I think Garrett will probably be with him. Coach Mosey being with Garrett with the wideouts has allowed us to put Coach Mosey down, Jamar down, and G up. So I think it'll be like that, and then some of the QCs and analysts, and then I think most of the quote unquote position coaches on defense will be down, and most of the QCs and analysts will be up. So because we have the ability right after the drive now to go look at an iPad, we don't need maybe quite as much experienced guys, at least on defense up top. We want more guys down on the field, and again, versus this tempo offense, managing the substitutions is going to be a big deal. So I think it'll be Tony will be down, Sad will be up, Ed and Josh will both be down. Mainly analysts on defense, and then Garrett will go up with Sat and probably Aaron Cooling.
So is it your film people that cut that up and get it to the iPads, or how do you get
It's an independent company on game day. It's an independent company that runs it through DV Sport, and so that both sides get it. So there's an independent company that shuts off the headset mic at 15 seconds or when the ball snapped. So there's never any gamesmanship, and there's an independent, we're getting a different feed. So it's not even our cameras, it's a separate camera that's getting us the getting us the video. So in the box, the video is real time. Play hits, it's wired in, they get that play right away. On the sidelines, it goes to like a cart, and then when you're over, you go to offense, the offense sits down, they bring over the 8 iPads. You have a total of 18 iPads that you can use between up and downstairs, 23 headsets. So wish Susan luck, guys. Look forward to seeing you guys later this week.